Board of Trustees, we have two members that won't be here. Just keep them in their prayer, and we pray for their fast recovery in the illness. This evening, I would like to see if we can join us in the invocation by Mr. Salazar, and then the pledges with Ms. Bass.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for everybody's presence here today, Lord, as we conduct the business of the district. Just be with us, be with every person here as we take a break, a much-needed break in the district, Lord. Be with every kid, every child, every student in our district, Lord. Just put your hands over every one of those folks traveling, as well as staff, teachers, admin. Lord, we're thankful for everybody in this district. And we're thankful for you for this season, and in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Would you stand with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar and Ms. Bass.
All right. Do we have any citizen comments?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I guess we get to start off with a lot of recognitions. Are we starting with recognitions or the committee reports?
We get to start with the chamber singers.
Okay.
Well, good evening, Dr. Sanchez, board, distinguished guests. For those of you that know me, my name is Caleb Aguirre, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as an acting choir director at Plainview High School. And before we sing for you tonight, I actually have a couple of recognitions from not only this group, but our entire choir. As we prepare for our area audition round in January, we have 6 students who are advancing or an alternate to this competition. And I believe this is the most that Plainview has had in, I think, the past 8 years. So we're having a really good year. And as they prepare for that, I want to make sure they're recognized tonight before they sing. We have Courtney Smith, who is 3rd chair, alto 2. Liliana Nava, who is 2nd chair, alto 2. Braylon Sansom, who is 4th chair, tenor 1. Damian Guido is a 1st alternate. He's 6th chair, tenor 2. Not in this ensemble, but we still want to recognize him, is 1st chair, bass 1, Malachi Falcon. Then we have 3rd chair, bass 1, Ethan Aguirre. And 5th chair, bass 2, Gisvin Garcia. So we'll head out to Midland in January, the first week we get back from break, and they'll compete against schools from the El Paso area, Amarillo, San Angelo, Midland, Odessa, and Wichita Falls, and then of course us in the Lubbock area. So for tonight, we are singing White Winter Hymnal and Mary Did You Know, both arranged by the Pentatonics.
That was really good. Wow, that's amazing.
Thank y'all. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, now we have some recognitions. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, our first recognition is the Bulldog Award. And so I will get Ms. Hernandez to introduce our concept and introduce our Bulldog Award winners.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Dr. Sanchez. We started the Bulldog Award to show support with our employees, and for the month of November, our first winner is Renee Kaler. She is a PHS teacher at Plainview High School.
So we need you to come up front, and you can invite your wonderful husband, and we'd love to get a picture of y'all both.
Yes.
I know he's here
He has
because
smile.
I see him hiding.
Smile.
An interesting fact is when we went to recognize Ms. Kaler, I did not know that Ms. Hernandez, our public information officer, was a JV basketball player for Coach Kaler at a certain point in time.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention that it was a former colleague of Ms. Mandy Steen who made a beautiful nomination for Ms. Kaler and recognized her over 20 years of teaching in PISD and at PHS as well as coaching. So again, it's really neat that friends who have retired continue to support friends that are still in the profession.
Our next winner for the month of November is Miss Megan Biggs. She's an assistant principal at South Elementary.
So if you have family here supporting you, y'all come on up too. So we can't let off one. So we'd love to get a picture of both of y'all up here. As any spouse can attest, being an educator is challenging work, and it's usually a family endeavor, and everybody works together and sacrifices and supports each other. And so we're very appreciative of Ms. Biggs. She's one of our assistant principals, and that usually entails the person that has to call parents and all of that fun stuff. So again, it's really great that she had multiple staff members as well as colleagues and parents who nominated her. So it's really neat to nominate for the nomination and then for the process of recognition. And I don't know if Danny's going to do it or if she needs me to do it. She probably will do a better job than me to put a plug in on how we are able to provide a cash award with the recognition through the Bulldog store. QU.
Oh, thank you. So the Bulldog store with the funds that we are selling right there in the corner, we have it here tonight. That's going to be used to award the Bulldog Award to be able to fund to give back to our district, because I know as an ex-teacher what dedication and pouring into the students, pouring into your staff, what it really takes. I mean, it's more than 40 hours a week. And we just want to show appreciation to PISD with it. So we started the Bulldog store, and then we've also been doing some fundraisers. We did Santa's Pictures, and all the money that we raised with Santa's Pictures were dedicated to this. So we're able to give a cash check reward for that. We raised $750 with the Santa photos. And so with that, we'll be using as well with the Bulldog store to be able to give back to our employees.
So that was the shameless plug of the for the Bulldog store. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Our next recognition is Miss Juanita Baco. She is our art teacher at PHS. They won a $1,000 grant this month. If she can please come up here. And she hopes to be able to build the students' gifts and drive success in their crafts. And they're excited to see what else they'll be able to use this grant for.
And if we can get a picture as well. And the other districts who were recognized, I mean, we were in very good company, so great work.
Next are our Lady Bulldog volleyball girls. They are coached by Amanda Martin and Coach Shelley Fault. Our first candidate is Ava Landeros. She made second team, and she also made THSCA academic all-state second team as well. And she was also an honorable mention, and she recently signed with Eastern New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Our next one is Camila Macedo. She is also academic all-state second team. And she was also selected for all-district first team. Our next one is Brooke Nails. She was academic all-state first team. And she is also on all-district second team. Our next one is Yaneli Jaramillo. And she's not here tonight either? Okay, no, it's okay, I'll just go over there. Okay. And then we have Brianna Guerrero. She's also was honorable mention for academic all-state. And then Ailey Kerbo, she was also honorable mention for volleyball all-district team. And those are your Lady Bulldogs.
Coaches, come on up so we can get y'all in the picture, please.
And our next one is NJROTC with Brad Brantley at the PHS High School. They received a Plainview AMI report for outstanding.
And Chief, if you don't mind just sharing a little bit of what it takes to get that distinction.
Good evening. I have here our CO, Iso Tinoco. She's the commanding officer. And her brother, who's also a supply officer in the unit. She's been in 4 years. He's been in 2. This report, I think all of you got a copy of it. I was required to give you a copy of it by Commander Hanna, our area manager. He oversees 45 schools. And this one single report is about 7 pages long, and it's the viability of the unit, any unit. It can actually close a unit by the Navy. So as you know, and maybe everyone else doesn't know, there's financial reports, there's reporting data, statistical data, administrative data, all kinds of data for all the bean counters in the Navy. But what's more important is what these guys right here do. They have to train and execute and practice and then do it all over again every day for about 3 months in a row to prepare for their exercise portion in the gym, which hardly anyone ever sees because it's during working hours. But then at the same time, there's a power brief during the afternoon. They have to demonstrate to Commander Hanna what they have performed, how they did it, why they did it. And they have to convince him they are trained in the capacities and functions of their job, or else I failed by him. And so I'm not even in the room. So they do all this by themselves, and he grades them. And then he comes and grades us later or through our records and reports and all that business. But it's what they do. I can't do it. Pedro Ramirez, who's not here this evening, he can't. We can't do it. We all can't have a program exist without them. So that's where I want the spotlight, if you don't mind, is on them. I've been doing this a long time. They haven't. So I don't take any credit. But they're working off of raw talent. So with that, I'll leave it to you.
Hi. It's true. The cadets usually, we like to say our unit is a cadet-run unit, and I like that very much because it shows that what we can do as a team and all together, just having students together basically do it. And it always ends up pretty good, so I'm glad that everything always works out just based on dedication and skill-wise. Your turn.
Hi. For preparation for the AMI, we handed out many uniforms to the cadets and taught them how to be presentable and make them look nice for AMI, and their participation in the anyways, their participation allowed AMI to run smoothly and nicely. So yeah.
Congratulations. We'd love to get y'all three up front and get a picture for you.
Okay, our next recognitions are football awards and honors. I did forget to mention about the academic all-state teams that like volleyball and football are going to be awarded tonight. They are seniors and they have to maintain a GPA of 92 or higher. The committee also takes into account class rank, class size, weighted GPAs, and test scores. So our first one is Maddox Ellis. He's a senior. He was also captain. He made first team all-district receiver. And right now, Maddox broke the school record for receiving yards, which was 1,004 yards, and the previous record was 927. He tied the school record for receiving touchdowns with 8.
Come on.
Our next one is Seth Mayberry, who is a junior. He is first team all-district utility player. He was also captain. Seth also led District 258 in passing yards. This season, he owns a school record for career passing yards, which is 6,536 yards. He also broke his own single season passing yards school record with 2,378 yards. He previously set the record back in 2022 and broke it again this year. Our next one is Brock Nels, a junior. He is second team all-district corner. Elijah Solis, senior, team captain, second team all-district defensive tackle. Blaze Chambers, junior, honorable mention in running back. He is not here tonight. Abram Garcia, senior, honorable mention receiver. Derek Ramirez, junior, honorable mention center. Ian Garza, sophomore, honorable mention offensive tackle. Jeremiah Guthron, senior, honorable mention, inside linebacker, and also team captain. Zachary Solis, junior, honorable mention, safety. Alex Villarreal and Patrick Villarreal, they're also seniors. They were both honorable mention in safety and outside linebacker. They are not here tonight. They had a soccer game. Josiah Miller, senior, honorable mention, corner. Aaron Fenelon, sophomore, honorable mention, kicker. He is also not here tonight. He is at a soccer game. Okay, now we are announcing our academic all-state team. Joshua Ramirez, second team. Davian Ramos, honorable mention. TJ Wetzel, honorable mention. Esteban Almendrares, honorable mention.
All right, Coach, if you want to help organize your young men to get a picture.
Do you have some other coaches? Other coaches, y'all want to come be in the picture? I see a lot of them back there.
Thank you.
And before we conclude student recognitions, it's very appropriate after going through all of the football awards and honors that we introduce our, it's kind of interesting to say it this way, new head varsity football coach, Coach Wyatt Martinez. Because he's been working the whole time, but now you're official, So we'll turn the mic over to you for a little bit, just to share what your thoughts are going forward and let people know what your thoughts and vision are.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to thank the Board of Trustees and Dr. Sanchez for the opportunity. Really excited, really great opportunity for myself and my fiance who's in the audience, Amanda, and we're just so thrilled. We love this community. We love the school district, and it's where we want to be. And so I'm just thankful for the opportunity and really excited about the work that we've already been doing, prepare for next season. Because as anybody who's been through the sport knows, it takes a year-round preparation and determination and hard work by those guys. And so we've already rock and rolling into off season and preparing for the 2025 season. But we really want to focus in the spring, and I hope we've done so already a little bit, but just getting our community really excited about the athletic programs we have to offer at Plainview High School. And just, we try to do that by giving back to our community and being present at events and getting involved in community service. And we've done some of that this past football season, but we'll kind of ramp that up in the off-season time where we have a little bit more time and just want to give back to our community who supports us, and then also make a plug to the community that we love your support, and we believe strongly that it takes a town to really buy into to these kiddos and what they're trying to accomplish, and they need your support. We strongly believe that winning football games takes not just what we do, but it takes lots of different groups, spirit groups in the band and student body, but also the people of the community to come out and be with us and support us and cheer loud. because that's what these guys want, and that's the work they put in for you. So again, just thank you for the opportunity. We're so excited to see the product we're going to put on the field moving forward. I hope you can recognize what those guys and the rest of their team did accomplish this season. Very, very competitive season. We're in a lot of close battles, and obviously everybody always wants more wins. Everybody always wants to win them all. But we're really competitive this season, and we're going to build on that moving forward, and can't wait to see what we do. So thank you.
Let's get a picture with you and your fiance, please. We all think we have one. Hey, congratulations, Coach, and to all of the families and everybody out here. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with your young people from fine arts to athletics and academics. A lot of good stuff as we end the year and get into the full swing of Christmas and the holiday season.
I did want to add that I did have the opportunity to interview some of the football players, and they said nothing but great things about him. There was about 6 of them. It was some sophomores, juniors, and seniors. I got to sit down with them, and they all wrote a wonderful statement, and we'll hopefully present that tonight. But they had nothing but positive things to say about him.
So we were waiting for the formal recognition, so that way we didn't release it prematurely. So now that everything's formal, we'll get that information out and we'll share some of the insights from the young men. So if you don't mind, Mr. President, if we can just a short recess to allow everybody to matriculate out before we begin with the agenda.
Very well. It is 6:33. We'll take a 5-minute break. Thank you. Congrats. 6:45, let's continue our third meeting.
Okay. Our first item of business is deliberation and possible action to adopt a resolution designating the district's non-business days for the 25 calendar year.
This one is pretty straightforward. Don't worry, principals, y'all didn't get out of it. We're going to come back around to y'all at the end. So,
We missed the reports.
I'll talk.
Try again. I'm always trying for that.
So, this one is, every year, under a new state law, we have to designate which days are not working days, or not business days for the purpose of open record requests. And so we do that once a year. And, you'll see in your packet the days that we selected, that are not considered, business days if somebody does an open records request. That way it's in policy. So, at any point in time, somebody requests over Thanksgiving break or Christmas break, there are certain days that won't count towards the 10 business day requirement to have an open record request filled. And this just puts it out for public, and with your approval, then we'll publish it. So that way, anybody who does an open record request will have that information. So with that, I'd like to make a recommendation on behalf of the administration for y'all's consideration and approval for a resolution designating the district's non-business days for the 25 calendar year for the purposes of the Texas Public Information Act.
What are any questions, comments on item number 1? If not, entertain a motion for this item at this time.
I make a motion, we adopt resolution designating the district's non-business days for the 2025 calendar year for the purpose of the Texas Public Information Act.
Thank you. Got a motion by
I
Ms.
second.
Salazar. Got a second by Ms. De La Garza. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, motion carries, 5-0.
Do you want to go back and get the reports or keep going with our?
We can finish with this and then finish up.
There's
with
not too
reports.
many, so. Consideration and approval of the updated 24-25 instructional development plan.
Good evening, Board. In your attachments, you will find the updated professional development plan by month. We've really tried to be very good stewards of the district's funding. Those, are limited to things that are necessary, very limited travel. And so that is updated for you. I can answer any questions if you need me to, but we would like your approval for that updated professional development plan by month.
Or any questions? And we really appreciate this. I mean, I know it's just, we have to, we've been working together on something like this, so. Whatever's best for the district, and this is most definitely a plus on this, trying to see what we can save but at this time, I'll entertain a motion for item number 2. If there's no more questions, comments.
I make a motion to approve the updated 2024-2025 instructional development plan.
Thank you. I hear a motion by, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion by Ms. Salazar and a second by Ms. Bass. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our third item is a change to the student handbook code of conduct, or amendment, rather.
Okay, if I can get Amy and, let's see, Mr. Green, if y'all will come up. Just gotta ask Mr. Green. Some heavy-duty stuff right here.
Good evening, Board. We're asking for a couple of additions to our dress code and grooming. On the bullet regarding footwear, we would like to add slippers are not allowed as well. And then we are adding a last bullet with no pajama pants, onesies, or any other type of clothing that is not acceptable attire for school use without proper administrative approval for designated dress-up days. And we're also adding that the principal reserves the full right to determine if any student's attire fits the Plainview ISD dress code and/or meets campus expectations. And this is coming about from a request from junior high, and we have Mr. Green to give us some background on that.
Good evening, Board. So basically, it's kind of this idea, how you dress is how you behave. And so we want kids to be comfortable and relaxed, but there is such a thing as being too comfortable and too relaxed. And so we've seen kids that are showing up and kids showing up in full-on onesies and wearing house shoes that are like Disney characters, the Disney car characters, roaming around the halls, and it's just not conducive to learning. It's become an issue where it's creating a distraction in the classroom. And like I said, we want our kids to be comfortable and enjoy being at school, but we also need to draw a line because it's starting to become an issue where it's not just one or two students here or there. It's an influx. And so we're just asking if we can go back to the policy that we used to have so that we can make sure we are fostering an environment that is conducive to learning.
So with that, I'd like to make a recommendation on behalf of the administration for the changes to the 24-25 student handbook and code of conduct. I had an opportunity to visit with Mr. Parker about this, and again, much to what Mr. Green said, he felt that this was an issue and would like to be on the front end of it. And my recommendation was for the language that would allow the principal to be the sole person on the campus to make the final determination of if something met dress code or didn't. So that way, if the principal says, nope, that doesn't fit what we want at junior high, intermediate, central, wherever, that's where that conversation ends. So giving them the authority to make that call. So I'd like to make that recommendation to the board for your consideration and approval.
Board, any questions, comments?
Yeah, since this is an amendment, this will be effective immediately?
Yes, sir. With y'all's approval, it would be effective immediately.
And we are, since you are allowing the principals to do it on their own campus, it is going to be enforced in each campus?
Yes, ma'am.
How soon will all the staff and students be notified of the change?
If y'all approve this evening, then we'll get word out this evening. We'll get information out through our public information officer and all of our channels. And then we'll ask the principals to inform parents that this is what we're doing. And so that they also make a call out on their campuses to make them aware of the update.
And we'll update the PDF document that we have online, and I'll share it with Ms. Hernandez and update it on the website as well.
What's the time frame from the time that they get notified to where it'll be enforced? You know, they'll be back
Yeah.
January the 7th, and a lot of them are gonna say, well, I did not know. So at what point do you say, okay, we already had enough time to where then it's gonna be a problem?
We'll begin enforcing it. And so, I mean, when we get back on Tuesday, we'll begin enforcing it. And what that's going to entail is if they show up dressed inappropriately, phone call home, get the right clothing up here. And so if we say, well, we'll wait till Wednesday, then they'll be wearing it till Wednesday. So we're going to go ahead and start Tuesday, and then we'll just make phone calls home with anybody who shows up with the wrong attire. And that way somebody can bring them the right attire. And so from day one, we'll begin notifying parents that this is what we're doing.
Did they just start showing up like that? Just
It started
in the
out-
night?
Once it started getting cooler, it started out, and where the kids were there, and at first it was just pajama bottoms, and for the most part it is pajama bottoms. But there's periods where when I saw when we do this meeting,
It just blows my mind. I was about to ask it, which principal's wearing onesies?
I have noticed that. I have a kiddo at junior high. So when I picked her up, in fact, I asked, I believe it was last week, was today pajama day? Because there were pajamas bottoms everywhere. And so she said, no, all the kids are just wearing pajamas now. So I agree. You dress for success. So
That's funny, because I have one client right now that I'm seeing because we're short-staffed. And she's homeschooled, and one of our goals is you get out of bed and you get dressed like you're going to school. And here,
Yeah.
we're having them go in pajamas to school. Well, that just kind of messed up my homework.
So there's several people in this audience that know the way I feel about wearing pajamas to school. So this will end pajama day, correct?
On designated
No,
days,
no,
they
no.
will still be allowed.
No?
They have to be designated campus days.
Oh.
Like a spirit day or something like that.
Mm. Arr.
The irony.
One last time.
So I know the amendment is, no, the principal reserves the right to determine. Do they not have the right at this point?
The way it works is, yes, they do, but we always get the parent who says, well, show me where it is in writing that you have the say. And so then we get the phone call over here, does the principal have the right? And then I have to say, yes, the principal has the right. And most of the time they go, okay, but every once in a while, well, show me where it says it in writing. And so off of our training last month, I say, well, the board has empowered me with the authority to interpret policy on behalf of the board, and that's my interpretation of it. But it's a lot easier when you're like, well, let's turn to page such and such and look at bullet about 3/4 of the way down the page, and let me read it to you. So again, I mean, the code of conduct could be this thick if everything is like that. So that's why we want to put in there, the principal has the discretion, because we can't list every trend, fad, or whatever is going to show up, because who knows, it could be spray painted gold chains in a month. So it's
Just Kevin.
yeah, just Kevin. We just want to leave that authority with the principal to be able to make the call on what's a distraction to the educational environment, to the learning environment.
Awesome.
And I would be that parent to ask, but I'm also that parent that reads the policy and sees, so I don't see it in here.
Yep, we have those. And that's okay. We just need to be sure that we have our bases covered.
All right. Board, any more questions, comments? None, I entertain a motion for item number 3.
I make a motion, we accept 2024-2025 Student Handbook and Code of Conduct Amendment.
Okay, got a motion by Ms. Delgado. Or a second by Mr. and Ms. Salazar. No relation. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank y'all. Let's work on no
Thank-
pajama day. Just saying.
I can't believe it.
All right, consideration approval to purchase food serving lines at intermediate campus, over 50,000.
We do have a fund balance in food service of $931,795. And this would give us an opportunity to update and modernize the food serving line at the intermediate campus. And the Texas Department of Agriculture has signaled they will approve this upon your approval. The project cost is $209,972.44. And it would be Trex Equipment out of Amarillo, Texas, that would be providing this. And if there are any difficult questions, Becca is here to answer them. And if-
Board, questions, comments?
We're looking at a timeline.
We were hoping to get it done sooner than later, but we don't want to take a chance with the disruption of school. We're thinking about that first winter break in February or spring break. But just in case there's an issue, we're going to have it done the first week in June. So that's the timeline. We'll go ahead and order it tomorrow. And then that way they can get everything in, and then it'll be set to install that first week in June, which put us a little bit behind the ball with this spin down with TDA, but Manuel's getting approval from TDA just to give us a few more months. We needed it done by April 1st, but we don't want to have the possibility of not being able to feed students
Yeah.
if there was a hiccup in the line. So we just are being cautious.
If you've ever been on that campus and seen that, you definitely know that they're needing of
Yes.
improvement.
Yes.
And it's it's the same quality as we did at the new elementaries. We redid South last year in the kitchen. It's the Duke Manufacturing that's at Central and North. So it's really top of the line, quartz countertop. It's going to be a great food serving line.
Board, any questions, comments? Not hearing none, I entertain a motion for item number 4.
I'll make a motion, we approve the purchase for food serving line for the intermediate campus.
You got a
Purchase
motion
over
for Mr. Salazar.
50,000, sorry.
Got a motion or a second?
A second.
A motion and second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carried 5-0.
Our next item is consideration approval of the listed superintendent designee TEA approvers.
Yes, Board, I'd like to ask that you approve Ms. Brandy Merrick and Mr. Wayne Jennings as our superintendent designees to approve different functions through TEA, such as PEMS reports or information or circumstances that deal with certification or personnel reports with the state on my behalf, as both Mr. Jennings and Ms. Merrick are knowledgeable in their areas. When there's information that has to be reported to the state, of course, they always communicate with me ahead of time, and then they move forward with submitting the information to make sure it gets in a timely manner. And so it's a practice that we've had, and it works out well to get things done quickly. So with your approval, I'd like to ask for your consideration approval for the listed superintendent designees as TEA approvers. Okay, speak.
Board question, comments? It's for 1 year only, correct?
Yes, sir. It's each year we have to update.
Not, entertain motion for item number 5.
I move we approve the listed superintendent designee TEA approvers, Brandy Merrick and Dalton Jennings.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. 5-0.
And all that remains is a consensus agenda. If y'all will approve the minutes as presented, then we can get back to the presentations and conclude.
Any questions on the business item 5, consent agenda? Not, entertain a motion at this time for consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Got a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
All right. If y'all let us circle back around, we'll finish on a high note with the benchmark update. As required by policy and by law, we are to present to the board the performance of academic achievement and our efforts towards that end to ensure that we are covering the Texas state curricula and that students are learning, and the board's role in oversight in ensuring that students are having those opportunities. So we'll begin with PHS, Mr. Reagan, and then it will be Ms. Dickerson, and we'll finish up with Mr. Wallace.
I'll start off with this. We got some really good news earlier this month, and we're back to 100% certified in the English department now.
Awesome.
And so that lifted everybody's spirits. And I think we're going to be able to take advantage of that. So when you look at this is a comparison of fall benchmark 23 versus fall benchmark in November of 24. And we'll start with English 1 first. They have made some great improvements in what they're doing there. And I think a lot of this goes to the experience of the team. And now they're getting a team member back that will also be teaching 2 accelerated English 1s. So that will impact that team also. For something that's easy and tangible to look at, when you look at the approaches column, comparing fall of 23 to fall of 24, we gained 1.97 percentage points in the approaches category. But in the meets category, we gained 10.73 points. So that's a big increase right there. So we're very pleased with that. Also in masters, because a year ago we were 0.3% in masters. And this fall in November, we're 3.54. And that category in our minds is always the most important category and where we gain the most with the state. So also with that person that we've gotten back, she's accelerated, should really help English 1 in that writing category. The comments that the English 1 team had made, they've made one change this year compared to last year. Last year, it was kind of, we've got to keep pace and we've got to hurry up and get this curriculum done. They've slowed that down just a little bit this year to make sure nobody's falling off the wagon. And they believe that a good impact is coming of that. Says we've slowed the pace of instruction to allow students more time to understand the components of each unit. Another comment that they made about the success of the fall benchmark is that they had started writing earlier this semester. And I know that Mr. Fitzgerald and I had had a conversation with the team, and it's a lot about, the student perspective, and we want them to be confident. And so the team's purpose is doing this, make students more comfortable and confident in their own writing skills. And that's critical when we go into the STAR test, that they go in there mentally thinking, I can handle this, because it's a long road. Once you get into that test, it's a full morning. The last comment that they made, this year's class, this freshman class, is somewhat stronger than last year's, and they credit the students and Plainview Junior High for that. So this group coming in just a little bit stronger, and that shows up. With the English 2 team, the person that we've got back will teach 4 sections of English 2, regular with EL inclusion. Their comments on their results to the left. One of the passages was an argumentative text, and this is in the red when you get down to extended construction response. And we lost some ground in some of these areas. And their explanation of that is because it was an argumentative text, the kids struggled because that information has not yet been taught. It's author's craft, purpose, and vocabulary. And then they also made the obvious comment, also our students with the long-term sub this fall, and she did a wonderful job with our kids, but they didn't have the rigor in writing that they needed from her. And now that they will have that back, we expect improvements. As far as the resources that we have, it's the same with both English 1 and 2. We'll continue with professional development with Dr. Shauna Rose in the areas of planning, assessment development, data evaluation, and classroom instruction, including modeling and small group pullouts. Ms. Faulkner, who acted as the long-term sub during the fall, Ms. Merrick had let me know that we're able to keep her through the spring semester. So she is going to be dedicated to English 1 and English 2. She'll either be helping teachers in the classroom, doing pullouts, whatever is needed in those areas to remediate those kids that need help the most. So we're feeling really good about spring. Any questions?
I don't know if I have questions, Mr. Reagan, but I would say definitely a big win for the certifications on the English teachers, right? So the whole team working on that. I don't know of very many high school principals in the state of Texas could stand up there and say that. So congratulations to the team of getting those folks in place. Looking forward to see what it brings and how it's going to develop.
Well, it lifted everybody up.
Yeah.
When that happened. So, and I think we're already seeing it in our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, the engagement's increasing. All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Plainview Collegiate High School echoes exactly what Mr. Reagan said. Our English 1 kids are coming in from junior high much stronger, so congratulations to them. They have got it going on. Our English 2 scores are a little bit lower. The scores you see in orange are higher than last year's STAR, but lower than last year's benchmark. We attribute that to probably a difference in the rigor of the benchmark and the teachers' approach to that. Mr. Moore is our English 1 and 2 teacher, and he is going to focus on writing. In our discussions, it was writing, and then more writing, and then more writing. They are specifically going to focus on the extended constructed response. Again, he wasn't sure if that had been taught as it needed to the depth that it needed to be taught at before the benchmark. So that's one of the things he'll work on now to the next benchmark and then to STAR. He is specifically going to work on the conventions of language, what we think of as grammar. The kids don't come in very strong with that, and they need to see it in practice in reading, in authentic reading in the books that they're reading, and then they turn around and use it in their writing, and then turn around and learn how it's tested in STAR. So very specifically STAR 2.0 questions, and just daily consistent practice. They do everything from writing to speaking aloud. What's the difference between a question and an exclamation and a statement? And how that looks how that looks on the page, how that sounds in your head, how that sounds in your voice. They also review the common mistakes that the kids make in STAR through their warm-ups. Sometimes it's a student's actual work that Mr. Moore has retyped and put on the board. Sometimes it's just a common mistake that he's teaching them to avoid. It also how that looks on STAR, like what does that question look like? What is that question type? What are the common pitfalls? That way they're looking for it and ready for it when it happens. English 1 has just better foundational skills. They're coming in ready through that conventions, ready. They've seen it. They know what they're doing. And it's not going to take them by surprise. English 2, I think it took it by surprise in their freshman year, but they are ready to tackle it this year. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening. I'd just like to start off with the commitment statement. I know you can read it, but I'm gonna just read it also. Mrs. Jo Long, she is our English department. We have one teacher per department. So she's in charge of English 2, English 3, English 4. We do not have English 1 at our school. If the students in English 1 is in Apex, it's not a face-to-face teaching with that. So she will continue to attend Dr. Rowe's training when offered. She started this year with that. Ash will approach the teaching and learning of the English 2 concepts by carefully selecting reading material, which will include information at various reading levels. Ash will implement an all-hands-on approach where all students are encouraged to work on grammar and literacy skills in their family classroom during RTI, response to intervention. Students will have the opportunity to enter their name for a prize drawing based upon participation during their daily RTI. And Ms. Lund is with us. This is her second year. She's currently working on her certification to teach with this. So she's alt cert right now. She knows more now compared to last year, if that makes sense. She now understands Ash more. And she's learning more how to present to the Ash students with that. It takes about 3 years to really accommodate or assimilate to the Ash program. You won't understand Ash until you work in Ash with that, because it's an alternative school setting with that. This year, we have a higher percentage of students having bigger gaps in the English 2. In this English 2 class, there are 17 students, but only 11 took the benchmark because of absences with that. Makeup of this class consists of students who are not in school from 1 to 3 years. We also have students returning from JJ, AEP, but also detention centers. I mean, that's in the classroom on the makeup. I mean, we do have others that come from PHS and stuff like that, but a lot of the students are returning from another alternative setting. Also students, so the knowledge level varies with this. Some students are taking English 1 again through Apex, and some have it English 2 face-to-face. We are approaching the teaching like with a diving board philosophy with this. We're going to try to fill in gaps because some are shallow and some are deep. So we're going to try to fill in as much as possible, and it's going to look like it's going to go down. Hopefully, just like a springboard, they'll spring up with that quickly with that. And our goal is we want them at meets and masters, but ultimately, when you look at the goal of Ash, we want to get them to at least approach. That way they can graduate with that. So when looking at the data, we found out that many students will not read the story. They will not read the story. They are going to look for quotes. They want the easy way out, as in instant answers. So strategies that we're going to implement, the first thing we're going to do starting in January is we're going to split that class into 2 separate classes. That way, the teacher will have more time to work with students one-on-one. Plus, it will separate some students that are influential in each other. They know how to act together. So the teacher, she's able to say, no, I want this student in here, this student needs to be in this class. No, we can't. No, that's a bad combination. So we're really looking at that, and that has already been given to the counselor, and Ms. Wiseman is going to make the changes starting January 1st. We're going to teach inferencing using different stories. Students do not like the process, but they must use it to become successful with that. They want the answer instantly. So we're fighting a generational battle now where we have to teach them the process, but in our daily lives, we really don't have to use the process because everything is instant. So we are doing that. So we're also going to use, like I said, selected books. So like this one, Fairy Tales right here. And what it is has short passages in there. And also like text structures and fables. Because we have students at different reading levels, this one goes like from grade, 3rd grade all the way to 12th grade. So she does not have to keep getting on the internet or looking for different sources. It's all right here. So she can present it at the same time, give this student this one, meeting them where they're at. And so that's going to help with it, a shorter passage. But if they're not reading, we have to start short and build them up with that. Also, the use of daily RTI, that's built into our schedule, homeroom. It's about 25 minutes. So with this, she's going to use it with revising, editing. The way we have it set up, each week, one of the teachers in charge of presenting information through Google Classroom with this. And at first, it was a struggle for the students to do the work. But once we implemented through the Plainview Education Foundation, we were able to get money to buy prizes. So now they are motivated to do the work, because if they participate by doing the work, then the teacher gives them a ticket. And then once they get a ticket, the prizes are tiered with this, from little beats to a TV. I think today one of the students got a TV. With that, I mean, there's different things, and sometimes we offer it on a weekly basis, 2 weeks, or just at the end of our grading quarter. So each day they participate, they put a ticket, they can choose what box they want to put it in. And so therefore, we're not battling them. You need to do your work. They want to do the work. I mean, even if they have already taken the English 2 or the math, they want to win a prize, so they participate with that. And so we're going to, again, focus on revising, editing, inferencing, star related. They're rewarded for participation. Through the do now, the warm-ups, we're going to focus on vocabulary. Is there a better way of saying this? Is there a better word for this? So it's like you want to pull from the history of the foundation, but some don't have that foundation. So sometimes we're there building the foundation so they can pull from the foundation so they can be successful with that. And then argumentative responses, writing, stuff like that. We had one student that had like 47 questions out of 52 right. But then on the writing part, she got 30%. So she only got 3 out of 10. Our students, and she was the highest. And so everybody else was like, I'm not going to write. And so we're trying to get them to write with this. So she has a strategy where she's going to give them a time limit to write, but then she want to try to decrease the time so they're just not sitting there frustrated with that. So that is the approach that we are taking at ASH to get the students there to the level they need to be. All right. Do you have any questions?
Good job, sir. Yes, sir.
I left out the best highlight. And I know when I go in tomorrow, they're gonna go, Reagan, you left out the best highlight.
Don't do that.
All right, so if you'll look, this is English 2. Now, the top comparison on the right is fall English 2 last year versus fall English 2 this year. They're not the same students. The bottom comparison is the same cohort group. So that top row, you're looking at 2023 freshmen, their fall benchmark, and now you're looking at 2024, those same kids, sophomores, their fall benchmark. And the improvements are drastic. And this is in a semester that we were a little bit understaffed there. So that category, we went from, in approaches, from 55 to nearly 68 in approaches. In meets, we went from 27 to 46. And in masters, we went from 0.3 to 2.78. So that's a big shout out to the English 2 team and what they've done, because they've worked really hard. And that's also a tribute to Ms. Faulkner, who was helping us with that to keep the ball rolling.
I'd like just comment just a little bit. Man, all three great presentations from all campuses. Celebrate the wins when we can. Celebrate them with your team for sure every day. We talk about challenges, and Mrs. Dickerson said it. The difference in the rigor of the content. We know there's differences, right? And the cool thing about it is you guys are preparing for that and working towards that. We know that you have to do the presentation, but it's easy to follow when you're making those improvements, and it's very clear that you are. So great job to the entire team. I love what Rodney said. He made a comment about getting prepped for graduation. Yes, 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 yes. So good job to all three of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to all your teachers that are constantly
Yeah.
working to come up with new plans and new ideas to keep these kids inspired. And so many of you said it tonight, ready and eager to learn and feeling like they can go into it being successful.
Again, what's impressive is you have 3 different campuses with different sets of needs, but the teachers are working together with the principal and with the instructional department to find solutions on all 3 sites. And so that's good, and the data is trending in the right direction. And so we just, again, wanted to be sure that the board's aware. I mean, we know you guys know how hard everybody works, and this just reaffirms what you guys know, that the data is showing that everybody's working hard and it's going in the right direction, and it's to the credit of the teachers in the classroom, the principals on the campus, and the support they receive from the instructional team. So again, and we appreciate y'all's support for that as well. So with that, that concludes all of the business of the district for this evening.
Thank you, and have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Meeting adjourned.